What is up, you guys? The King1337 coming to you with a is it worth or not for the video game Watchdogs. First off, I don't want this to be a comparison between this and GTA 5, but it's going to seem like that a lot of times just because the games are so very similar. I'll totally agree with you in saying that the core concept is completely different in the sense of Watchdogs is more of a game where it's like trying to be stealthy and sneaky and get the job done, whereas GTA 5, let's be real, it's pretty much a game just to fuck shit up and have fun. So I mean, there are two completely different games. They have two different art styles, and their core concepts are completely different. But with both of them being open worlds and recreations of major cities and their massive scale, I think that does make you have to compare them a lot. Especially if you take the proximity that they were supposed to be released in, and even still the proximity that they are released in. They're still only like 6 to 8 months apart, I think. And it's really hard to not compare those two. But jumping right in, the first thing is going to be the driving aspect, because this game does force you kind of to drive a lot, and then it has a whole lot of missions where you got to drive people places, you got to intercept convoys, so you're in vehicles a lot in this game. Vehicles look good, they sound good, but they don't always drive good. It feels so much like an arcade game. The driving is kind of sporadic. I mean, like even in a motorcycle, you can hit something head on, and then you just bounce right back off, and then it doesn't even knock you off the bike sometimes. So that kind of stuff is very silly. Even the hacking of the roads and stuff, sometimes the timing is off, and it's a little funny. It just like it'll tell you perfect timing for a pillar, and instead it'll hit you and them. So I think it's kind of stupid. But just the physics of the driving, it's kind of arcade-like. I'm not a big fan of it. I think the viewing, where you can view in the cockpit's really cool, but overall I don't really like the physics of the driving. I don't like the way the cars handle. There's not that much of a differentiation between the vehicles and stuff. I just wasn't a whole big fan of it. Well, the next thing is going to be, I would say, player movement. And that's like the way you get behind cover and stuff like that. And there's actually, I mean, it can be easy at times, but other times it can be really hard. It's almost Assassin's Creed-ish, or GTA 5, or like a Last of Us, or Naughty Dogs, Uncharted, like, where you got to kind of hide behind cover. But it's weird that you have to hold R2 to free roam. I don't really like that too much. And then sometimes you get behind cover, and it's like you want to go places, and it doesn't always like give you the option to jump over a wall or vault it, or it doesn't give you an option to like lay down behind cover or crouch down behind cover. Sometimes it's just not quite responsive as I want it to be, and sometimes you're in a gunfight and you're low health and about to die, and it just doesn't do exactly what you want to do at that exact moment, and you just die because of it. I guess I've kind of been spoiled with some of the newer games where they're really responsive and they don't really mess up as much. But that's one aspect that I do not like about the game. And then moving on to the hacking aspect is phenomenal. You can go into missions, you can control cameras, set up people's grenades, make phones ring, do all this stuff. You can be really sneaky and really tactical. It is very cool. I like it a whole lot. I definitely think it's a very unique experience. You don't really need any, you don't even need to go in guns blazing. But you can if you want, which is something else that I want to point out, is like the gun control I like a whole lot. It's, once again, like almost like a Naughty Dogs feel. Like Naughty Dogs, how they did The Last of Us and Watchdogs. It's almost like that kind of gun style. So it's like, it's not an FPS. It's not meant to be an FPS, but at the same time, they do a really good job of doing the shooter. I mean, even GTA did a really good job of it as well. And I just think it's cool how like the guns have different recoils, and it just feels good. I mean, honestly, it just feels good. And then overall, I think the game's going to be really good. I just don't think that you can compare it to a game like GTA 5. It's just not fair to GTA 5, honestly. GTA 5 is a phenomenal game. The scale, the physics of the cars, every aspect of it, they did so phenomenally. And I think if this game would have been released closer to GTA 5, it would have gotten blown out of the water. Now it looks better graphically, but aside from that, there's not too many advantages I would see of this, aside from them being able to hack into other people's worlds. And try to mess their stuff up, which is a cool aspect. I've done that sometimes with my friends. I've had that happen to me a couple times. I don't really understand if there are actual bounties or if that's just like some of the dialogue of the game. But I think that's a pretty cool aspect. I think it's fun, but at the same time, it's not a huge deal. Which is why, I mean, for 60 bucks, I think that's a lot. I'm not really sure if this game is worth 60 bucks. It might be, I mean, for 30 or 40 dollars when you pick it up in a few weeks when it goes on sale, like Best Buy or GameStop or something like that, might be more worth it then. If not, I mean, if it's something you're not on the, like, if you're not for sure about it, you're not 100% sure you want it, you don't have friends that are going to hack and mess around with, then I would definitely say probably go on YouTube, watch some videos, watch some more gameplays, like, of the story and stuff, see how you like that. Or just go to, like, a GameStop, and if you go to GameStop, you can get it and then return it within 5 days if you don't enjoy it, if it's a pre-owned game. So that's something I always recommend to people. And aside from that, I mean, the story is not bad. It was just, I kind of had it disjointed because I did a bunch of side quests and the story, and they kind of intermingled, so I kind of lost focus a lot. I guess if you did straight story, it'd be a little bit different, but I mean, that's just not normally how I play. Like, I mean, I hate to compare this to GTA 5 again, but GTA 5, you could go through and do side quests that kind of mounted towards the story, or they just did stuff that wouldn't draw you away from the story, or, I mean, I don't know, I felt like they did a really good job of divvying that stuff up. But thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about the game or the video or anything like that, just feel free to let me know. I'll be glad to answer them. And as always, guys, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.